Welcome back to Soul Searching for Sunshine. My name is Anna. Today I wanted to talk about grief. In particular, I wanted to talk about the 5 stages of grief, timelines, that sort of thing. If you've read any kind of grief book, you'll know that the 5 stages of grief are denial, anger, bargaining, depression, and acceptance. Some would say that there is a specific order that those should happen in. And I don't know. I'm not sure that I agree with that. I feel like, again, grief isn't on its own timeline, or on a particular timeline, rather. So I don't think that there's a specific order that you need to be in each specific stage, or that you will even be in those stages. My husband and I, while navigating this journey, have been in different stages at different times, which I guess is good. Our therapist thinks that it is good, because we've been able to help each other out. We've never been both completely in the dumps at the same time. And I can see the point in that. But I really want people to avoid this pressure. I think that there is this pressure to get back to normal and get on with your life. And we are such a society that is driven on timelines. I feel like we all put this pressure on ourselves to complete our grief journey. And that's just not how this is going to work. I am currently a year and a half into the loss of our son. So definitely have passed the 1-year mark, heading on to year 2. And I can say that there are definitely some differences, and I would welcome your thoughts on this, anyone who would feel like sharing their experience. But I feel like year 1 was just a fog, a cloudy fog of sadness. And I feel like among that fogginess, there were a lot of friends and family that would reach out, a bigger net of support system, if you will. And I feel like now that we're into year 2, and there is this thought process that either we should be over it, or that things are easier now that the 1-year anniversary marks have happened, the first birthday, the first holiday season. I think some people are misguided in thinking that it's actually easier, when on the contrary, it's actually harder. You find yourself with that support system having faded into the background, and understandably so. People get busy. I've done it in the past. I mean, people have to get back to their lives. And so again, year 1 feels kind of like this year of survival and of just trying to get back into some sort of a routine. And a lot of times that just consists of getting up, getting dressed, taking a shower, that sort of thing. Whereas maybe year 2, you've decided to venture back out into the world. And again, you're having to find these skills to cope. I used to love being around people. you know, always planning things with family or friends every weekend, having something going on. And now the noise, the pressures to be out and act like nothing has happened and act like normal. It is so tiring. It's so exhausting. And I'm not sure that will ever fade away. Again, I think that goes back to the part of being a changed person. So year 2 definitely feels a lot lonelier, because you are left on your own more. People start reaching out less often. Again, no fault, no blame. Life goes on. The sun still rises and sets every day, and that's just the way that it is. But it definitely feels lonely. I can say that much. Year 3 and forward, I don't even know what that looks like. Honestly, when our son first passed away, I didn't even expect to be around much longer. But yeah, here I am. And I'm still trying to figure out how to navigate, how to deal with the day-to-day ongoings of life. And it's still challenging. One thing that I have done, that I will continue to do, and that I would suggest you do as well if it gives you comfort. Again, what gives me comfort may not necessarily give you comfort. I say my son's name. I bring him up in conversation on a regular basis. If I'm out and about and, we go to a restaurant, there's a certain food that I know that my son would like, I say it out loud, oh, Nathan would like so-and-so. If Nathan was here, he would say so-and-so. I do that, I think, without realizing it. But there are also moments that I intentionally do that because I want people. I think that it's important for people around you in your grief journey to understand that it shouldn't be a taboo not to say your loved one's name. I think some people feel like they want to avoid that because it will make you cry or make you sad. But again, we're talking about a sadness that will never go away, that you're going to carry with you forever. To me, when someone says my son's name or says, oh, I had a dream about them, or oh, I saw so-and-so movie and it made me think of Nathan, or oh, I remember Nathan did X, Y, or Z. Whenever I hear those things, it brings me a sense of comfort. I guess comfort would be the word, because I know, again, that my son not only matters to me, but matters to other people enough to still think about him and remember him. He was here. He was important. And I know that I feel that same manner in the way that you do about your loved one. So I welcome you. One of the things that I learned was okay to do in therapy is to initiate saying his name. That kind of gives people the opportunity to chime in, if you will. Now, some people may get uncomfortable, and that's fine. But others may take your cue on that and go, okay, it's okay to talk about him, or her. One of the hardest things that I'm still working on, and I'm sure that others on this journey continue to work on, is that final step in the 5 steps of grief. Again, I don't buy into that necessarily. I think that everybody's journey will be a little bit different, and I feel like you can get through anger and move along, maybe into acceptance even, but you can still go back to anger. Something could trigger you into going back to that specific emotion. So again, let's not put that pressure on ourselves to get through this in a certain amount of time. That would be unrealistic, because will you ever stop loving your loved one? You know, if you can't stop loving them, then how can you ever stop grieving them? And I think we need to talk about that, and I think we need to normalize that. A lot of people talk about their plans for the future. Well, the future will ultimately include a future without your loved one present, or even yourself. So I feel like we need to have these conversations. We need to make it more commonplace. Yes, people are living longer. So I think maybe that's caused some delay in these conversations, because most people think that you're going to live into your 70s, 80s, 90s. That's not always the case. We hope that that would be the case, of course. But realistically, that's not always how it happens. If you would have told me 2 years ago that I would be sitting here filming a video about the loss of my son, I would have never believed that. But here we are. So again, the stage that I'm constantly working on is acceptance. And I don't think acceptance doesn't mean that I'm okay with what has happened. I think it just means that I'm acknowledging what has happened. And believe me, just when I think I have acknowledged it and understand, I have to go back to acceptance, because I still struggle with that. And I think I always will. I'm really working on acknowledging the pain and all of the emotions on this journey, because they're constantly there, right underneath the surface of everything, of my walking, talking self. However, I myself find that it's very easy to let feelings of pain and hurt overwhelm me. A lot of times I feel like I want to stay in this dark hole of hurt, because if I climb out of that hole of hurt, I feel like I'm leaving my son behind. But I'm trying to change that perspective. I listened to an amazing YouTube video a few days ago, and it talked about not moving away or leaving behind your loved one, but moving towards them. And that's a ticket right there. So I'm working on that mindset. And I think I already unconsciously was doing that anyway, because every morning I have this habit of going up to my son's picture just kissing it and saying, hey, good morning. We got another sleep down. Another day closer to seeing you. And same thing in the evening. Okay, good night, sons. Gonna go get another sleep down. Another day closer to you. And as morbid or grim as some people may think that sounds, there's a comfort if you believe in an afterlife, if you believe in a heaven, if you believe that we're eternal souls, then you would believe that you are going to see your loved ones. And I do, very much so. And I am counting down the days. So those moments when I realize I'm heading towards, not away from, definitely help me not feel so overwhelmed. But I also try to make a habit, and this may be a tip for you if you're right in the throes of it. I try to make a habit of breaking up my sadness, if you will, if you can even do that. But I allow myself to feel what I'm feeling, but I try to put it in check, meaning, okay, I've had my cry. This song came on. This memory came up. I've had my moment. I can't sit and wallow in it. I'm going to put it away to the side. Now I'm going to try to take care of me. I'm going to do something for me, be it, watch a funny YouTube video, be it take the dogs for a walk, play Monopoly Go, sit down and read for a few minutes, paint for a few minutes, whatever it is. I try to take these little timeouts for myself that give me a break from those feelings, because otherwise they will consume me. And I'm sure that I'm not the only one that can feel that way. So this is your reminder. Take timeouts from your grief, because it's not ever going away, right? So step away from it. Put it to the side just for a few minutes and try to do that consistently, a couple times a day. Maybe that'll help. And I hope it will, especially now as we're getting into the final big events of the holiday season. You'll definitely probably need those timeouts, and it's okay. Again, we all have to do what we have to do to continue forward on this path that can be very dark, very lonely. We've got to look out for ourselves during this time, especially. I know that I tell myself, and I'll remind you, I'm sure your loved one would want you to continue forward and would want you to do your best. And they love you, so of course they only want the best for you. So when you take those little breaks, remember, they would want you to give yourself a timeout from the hurt. Well, I guess that's it for now. I am sending everyone love and light. Give yourself grace. Don't forget to give yourself grace. And don't forget, it is okay to bring up your loved one's name. Those who love you, they're not going to mind. Actually, they may feel better that now they understand that it's okay. That's it for now. I hope you have a good week. I will be back next week with another video. And until then, again, love and light.